It's 2023 and the world is in a peculiar place at the moment, but one thing remains the same. People are always looking to buy, sell in real estate. What's going on? It's Brad Reynolds, your local Nashville realtors, 10 plus years in the game. And with today's video, we're talking about the differences in older versus younger agents. Both have pros, both have cons, and both have things they've got to work on. There's many different types of agents out there in the game right now. The way it's always been, the people just starting off in their 20s, the guys and gals looking to make their way, to the people in the middle like me, mid-30s, 10 to 15 years in the game, not perfect, but have learned a lot and have applied a lot of it, to the OGs, the ones that have been around for decades, who are somewhat stuck in their ways. The reality is each generation has different marketing, sales, and management techniques to help get the deal across the finish line. But with this video, we're going to point out some of the ways the OGs and the newbies on the block can step their game up. So first, let's start with you newbies, those people in their 20s just getting started in the real estate world. You're probably tremendous at making a reel on Instagram, making a post to Facebook or Snapchat or whatever. But you're probably not so good at answering the phone, responding to text in a timely manner, and being professional. But there's three things you've got to work on: being personal, professional, and knowledgeable. Things the older generation has excelled at for decades. And if you want to be in the game as long as they've been, you've got to work on it. So here's a quick story. When I first got into real estate, when I first moved to town 2012, I did not think about other agents at all. I didn't know how to conduct myself, how to be personal, how to be professional, how to coordinate, all the things I was trying to learn. I was simply focused on making a sale, which is good. You're not in the business to be best friends with other agents. You are in the business to sell. But as you get more established, having that rapport with other agents, with other clients, it's healthy and natural to want to step your skills up. Let's now talk about some of the things you can do to make that happen. So the first one, personability. You've got to be able to relate to the client. We all have personal beliefs, whether it's politics, life, sports, anything under the sun. And most likely the person you're working with is vastly different from you. You've got to be able to relate to them. So put the phone down, communicate face to face, and I promise you, you will find common ground. The next one, communication. I've found, not always, but many times, younger agents are not good at answering the phone and want to communicate usually via text only or email. That is not always a good idea. A lot of parts of real estate are very, very dependent on communicating effectively, and to do that, you've got to pick up the phone and talk through things. A text is not always going to get the job done. The third one, professionalism. Look, you don't have to show up in a suit and tie like I tend to do, but do not show up in jeans and a t-shirt. Your appearance matters. Whether you're showing a place to a buyer, a potential seller, or communicating and networking with other agents or people in the business. If you look good, you feel good. And when you look good, you play good. And when you play good, they pay good. And when you pay good, eventually, you can retire early. So show up looking good. The next one's knowledge. I wake up every day trying to become a better agent, and you should too. When you want to become knowledgeable, what do? You have to go out and see buildings and neighborhoods and understand the process and the paperwork and how inspections work and appraisals work and lenders work and title companies work. And I could keep on going. And these are things you can't learn in one day, 1 week, 1 year, even 1 decade. I'm 10 years in and I'm still just scratching the surface on so many of these things, but I wake up every day motivated to learn more. Lastly, networking. When you're new, you don't necessarily have the time, the energy, or the resources to go to all the networking events, whether it's with other agents, residentially, commercial agents, or other people in other parts of business, but you should. I promise you it will pay off. It takes a lot of legwork to get there, but the OGs, the ones that have been around forever, have built relationships for many years, many decades, and whether they become a best friend or just a casual friend somewhere in the spectrum, I promise you, you will get business from them, and hopefully you'll send business their way as well. So now that we've broken down younger agents, older agents, I'm coming for you next. Look, the reality is change is hard. It's hard as you age to understand change. It's hard to accept change, and then it's hard to adapt to the change as everything is changing. Have I said the word change enough? Probably not. The biggest thing you've got to understand if you're an older agent is you've got to be ready for things to change and change with them. So the first thing to change is stubbornness. In parentheses, when it's needed. There's some things you don't need to change. The contract is still 10 pages. There's still a process to selling real estate itself. I'm not asking you to change the finite parts of the deal. What I am asking you to change is if you're 50, 55 years old, don't think it's too old for me with social media. You can do it. Have the willingness and the courage to change. If you're 75 and about to hang it up, maybe you don't need a Snapchat. From digital marketing to lead generation, you may find yourself in a situation where a lot of your clients and friends have retired. And if you're an older agent and want to stay relevant, you may want to look into some of these sites, Zillow or Realtor.com or Trulia, things like that, to mix it up and find new clients. Don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid to try. And we haven't even mentioned social media yet, but again, it's so imperative when it comes to technology to find out where the world is and how you can adapt and change to it. Whether it's going out and creating a website for yourself, there's plenty of websites that will do it for you with templates, or you could hire someone to do it like I've done. You could start a YouTube page. You could start an Instagram page. You could do digital lead promotion and buy leads and all the things like that. There's a lot of things you can do. So number one, don't act like you're too old and it's too late. You can always change and always grow. So final point, changing market. The way that you lived your life, you probably got married in your 20s. A lot of people now don't get married or get married later in their 30s. You probably had kids in your 20s or your early 30s. Our lifestyles, mine as a millennial and yours maybe as the generation or two before, are radically different. You're probably doing a lot of things that I could learn a lot from you from, and I'm probably doing a lot of things that you could learn a lot from me from. So reach out to me or reach out to somebody in their 20s. If you've got questions about social media or websites, call people. I've always found in life that most people, when you pick up that phone and call, are willing to help. And just because one person says no, doesn't mean that everybody will. So here's the big thing I want to share as we wrap it up. The theme of the video is be prepared to change. Life is all about change. Only a few things certain in life: death and taxes, and there's probably something else I'm forgetting. And the other thing you need to prepare for is to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I don't care if you're 89 years old, in the nursing home, your family hasn't talked to you in forever, and you're just wanting something to do. If nothing else, watch my videos every day. That'll keep you up to date on the market. So move your mouse over, because you probably still have a mouse, and hit that subscribe button. Or if you're tech savvy and have an iPad, subscribe there too. Leave us a comment. Let us know how life was back in the 1940s and 50s, and connect with younger agents if you are an older agent. And younger agents, I gave you the sauce earlier, as you kids would say. So keep it fresh, keep it on fleek, as the kids from probably 10 years ago would say, and keep learning, keep growing. Subscribe to this channel, leave us a comment, and we will see you soon. All the best. Cheers.